Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I know it's been a little bit since I posted a video, but a lot has happened. So I'm gonna kind of fill you in on what's going on. In fact, this is gonna be a little bit longer of a video, so hang in there. Obviously the title explains exactly what's going on. I've been kind of going through a series of unfortunate events. What I do want to touch base on is getting yourself through your most trying times. And the things that work for me, so I want to go ahead and share them with you. I actually wrote it down. I know there's a lot of you out there this year, 2018, astrologically or whatever, just has been a really just trying ass time for everybody. It's not just me. I see so many people experiencing loss, grief, accidents, things like that. So if you're going through something like that, connect with me, tell me what's going on, feel free to share your story. Thank you so much to everyone for your support during this time. A lot of messages, text messages, sharing kind of like the loss that you're experiencing. That has actually helped me really grieve, because I tend to go into kind of like a automatic robot mode when I'm really struggling emotionally. So I can't tell you how many moments, especially with my dad passing last week, that reading your comments and the DMs that you guys sent me is what helped me to actually like break myself down a lot. So thank you so much for sharing all of those powerful stories about, you know, your parents going through cancer, surviving or not surviving. Those things are really like meaningful to me, because that's exactly what I just went through. So to kind of rewind and go back to the beginning, it's been a really eventful couple of months for me. I would say in the last 3 months, I have experienced a significant change in my career path. Prior to that, most of you guys saw on Instagram and Facebook, I got into an accident while I was cycling, and you saw my face was really kind of like disfigured. I had a dislocated jaw, significant amount of damage to the left side of my face. Luckily, I didn't break my cheekbone. It was just kind of really swollen. Like, it was so swollen that you couldn't see like the bridge of my nose on one side of my face for about a week. So that was kind of like how it all started. And then it led into kind of me transitioning from my entrepreneurial career to really combining my passion for cycling and marketing together. It really just kind of fell into, so that was a really good thing. But it did also generate a lot of stress transitioning from one to the other. So I'll talk a little bit about that. And then during kind of like my first kind of weeks there, I also went through a breakup, which was just kind of, you know, it takes a toll on you. And then lastly, kind of like the last and the most heavy thing that I experienced was that last Friday, my dad passed away after struggling and battling lung cancer that had metastasized to his bones. So he was in a significant amount of pain. So that was a really hard thing to kind of experience, a parent going through, you know, those kind of things. So it was a lot on my family. But outside of that, what I really wanted to talk to you guys about was how I got through those moments. I think we all experience heavy times in our lives at different times, and it's never guaranteed that we're gonna have this happy, amazingly uneventful life, you know, that's just like steady as a stream. It's totally normal to have these ups and downs, and it's really learning to go through the down phases of your life with as much comfort as you can. So I wrote down a couple of things this morning. I was doing a little like yoga stretches, and I really thought about like, wow, how did I get to today without having a complete, utter mental breakdown? And these are the things that I really noticed, so I wanted to share them with you to kind of let you know if you are also going through a really hard time, if you're going through some changes like this. I hope that any of these, you know, 6 things that I share with you could be helpful for you. So the first thing I really wanted to share with you is that when you're going through trying ass times in your life, whatever you do, do not abandon yourself. What I mean about that is, you know, at least for me when I was younger, and I'm guilty of it even earlier this year, when I first found out that my dad was terminally ill, instead of sitting there and being there for me, I completely turned around and abandoned myself. What I did was I called some of my friends that I knew like would really be down to go out and get shit-faced, and I did that instead of sit here and actually deal with what was about to come. So when I say don't abandon yourself, it's really tempting to just tap out and say, oh, this is a really hard situation and I'm just gonna like abandon everything right here and I'm gonna go get turned up with my friends, or I'm gonna space out in video games, I'm gonna space out in some other hobby or habit so that I don't have to deal with this right now. This is how we abandon ourselves. We do it often. Some of us, we do it with a bottle of wine. Some of us, we overeat. Some of us, we watch TV. And some of us, we even overtrain, which is kind of what I went into. I went into kind of like a psychotic, count my calories, wake up at 4 a.m. kind of thing, because I just wanted to fully immerse myself in something else. When you feel yourself like needing to reach out or needing to talk about things, it's because you're needing the comfort of yourself. What does that mean? Which leads into number 2. You need to know what makes you feel safe. Again, you need to know what makes you feel safe. For me, going out and getting shit-faced or, indulging into watching an entire season of Sons of Anarchy, like, those things didn't really feel safe. They felt good to numb out because they were all consuming, but it really didn't make me feel safe. So the things that make me feel safe are being at home, taking care of myself, like little things like just meal prepping, cleaning my house, having order in my environment, spending time sitting out in nature, spending time meditating, and spending time only connecting with my friends that really bring a lot of value to my life. And that leads us to like the third point. This is a time when you're going through really trying times, this is the time to trim the fat as far as who you spend your time goes. You need to kind of let go of anyone that's bringing negativity into your life or that's likely to help you kind of abandon yourself, because that's what they're used to doing as well. So you don't want that. You want to kind of like trim the fat around your closest friend, family circle. If you have family who just doesn't support you or who just brings like negativity to you or criticizes you, they are definitely not going to be in your safe space. You're going to also have friends that are just kind of like, oh, you need a break. Come on, you need a night out. Those friends, at least for me, are not going to be helpful, because you're just going to encourage me to like go spend money and run away from my problems. And that has never helped me solve anything. Being there for myself would actually require me to sit down and be with myself, even if it's like a little bit uncomfortable, to be able to sit there and be with myself and ask myself what I need from myself. And so much of that leads into number 4. I found myself really needing a lot of sleep. For whatever reason, this took up my entire emotional bandwidth, just going after one event back to back to back. So I really just didn't have the energy to work out or train as hard as I normally do. I'm actually down to probably cycling about 35 miles a week, which isn't ideal for me, but I needed all this emotional bandwidth, was taking up all of my time and energy just to get through my day. So I needed more sleep. Just allow yourself to sleep, because your body needs it. And 5th, which kind of ties into 4, they all kind of go in order. 5th is don't be hard on yourself. The first kind of few weeks, especially after I got injured, I was really pissed off because only my face was injured, and I felt that I should get back to my training routine within the week, which was really unrealistic of myself, but I felt that way. I felt like, well, you're not injured anywhere else, so there's no reason for you not to be on bike. Just because you feel uncomfortable about the way you look does not give you an excuse not to go to the gym, not to work out, not to leave your house. So those were things that I was personally beating myself up about, and I realized in retrospect that was completely unnecessarily mean to myself. I think it's such a big part of my life that I normally am pretty hard on myself when I don't stick to my exercise regimen, whether that's going to the gym 2 to 3 times a week and being able to cycle the other 2 to 3 days. That's something that I really normally have on a board in my kitchen, like breaking down to what like muscle groups I want to work out and how many miles I should ride. Not having that and not being able to follow that, only simply due to not having the emotional and physical bandwidth to do so, was something that took me a lot longer to accept than the other parts of like the struggles that I've had to face. Even today, it was hard for me to stay home and make the video before I went to work versus get up and go immediately to the gym, which was kind of like what I wake up always feeling myself forcing myself to do is either get up to go cycle or get up and go to the gym. And to be able to sit down and be like, wait, hold on, I have all this like stuff that I need to let out, and I need to kind of just go through the motions. Don't be hard on yourself. That's like, if you're going through a trying ass time in your life, the last thing you need to do is beat yourself up about all the little things that you can't get done because you don't have the emotional bandwidth. Even during those times, there was a couple of times where I was like, oh my gosh, you know, you're losing a lot of muscle, you need to get back to the gym. You know, I've lost about 5 pounds in the last month and a half, which for me is a lot. I'm a small person, so when I lose 5 pounds, that's a significant amount for me, and it will take a significant amount of effort for me to gain that back. Like, losing gains was something that was really upsetting, but at the same time it was something I had to accept and stop being hard on myself about not having my 100 miles a week and not having my gains. So don't be hard on yourself. 6 is really kind of probably the groundwork to everything, is that you need to have faith. Whether that's the universe, whether that's God, you all have your own personal beliefs on what gets you through your hardest moments. For me, it's a combination of things. That's like the universe or nature for you, which it is for me too. A big part of myself just needed to sit out in nature a lot to process and understand the death and life cycle of the world. So do whatever you need to do, but lean on your faith. Like, this is a time where you can ask the universe for crazy things to help with. And it's so pure when you're in those kind of areas in your life where you're in that Mayday moment. Like, I distinctly had a Mayday moment. It was during probably the last week my father was alive. I had a Mayday moment where I just broke down and cried. I looked up at the sky and I was like, this is a serious Mayday call. Like, I'm at my emotional max capacity. You know, I'm not able to handle anymore. I need you to kind of like step down and step up your game and holding me like upright. And that was a really powerful thing for me, because it was really like a testament for me to say, I can't control anything that's going on around in my life, especially the health of my dad right now. So I need to be able to find something else to lean on, something outside of me that's greater than myself. And, you know, it really came through. I have to tell you, that's probably why I'm even able to sit here and make this video today. Otherwise, I think I'd still just be in rumbles. For the most part, I've been able to kind of really stick to my routine. Routines really help bring you comfort, and it's something that your mental mind does without thinking about. So during these times, don't abandon your routines. Don't go to sleeping in until 12 noon every day. Don't go to, you know, into like eating junk food every day, because those are things that are gonna affect the way you feel. And if you wanna really help yourself through these times, it is sticking to the routines that make you feel safe. Again, for me, those routines are really being home, taking care of my home, taking care of myself, spending time in nature, making sure that I'm setting aside time to like sit there and deliberately meditate, whether I'm listening to a guided meditation, reading, journaling, whatever helps me ground myself. It was really just having those routines, not staying up till 2 in the morning watching TV and getting lost. Those are things that I did kind of prior to the shitstorm. I think when I first found out my dad was terminally ill, there was many months where I just kept abandoning myself and getting into just kind of like binge watching on Netflix, you know, junk food eating, you know, beer drinking, and all of that was just like not helpful. All of that made everything feel even worse. What made me actually get through the darkest hours of hopefully what I believe is the end of the storm and calmer waters are ahead, part of 2018, is these 7 things. So I hope that if you guys are going through a trying time right now, or about to go through one, or have gone through one, and if this helps in any way, then I'm glad that I made the video. And for me, it's been very therapeutic to be able to tell you about these 4 holy shit moments that have happened to me in the last couple of months. The storm cannot last forever. Calmer waters are ahead, and that's something that I believe. So thank you so much for watching my video. Please comment below if you have things that help you kind of get through moments, or if you have any questions or other comments, please go ahead and share that with me. Thank you always, and I will see you on the next video.